Hello, hello. Of course, right when I decide to start my stream, that's when my cat wants out. So, it's okay. We'll still start at the 2-minute mark approximately. And today we're drawing on the hand cam. But BRB, gonna make sure my cat doesn't come scratching back. Okay, I think we're ready. So let me go over to my hand cam screen. Uh-oh. Okay, cool. There we are. It's not quite a 50-50 chance that the hand cam won't or will work, but sometimes when it's black at first, I'm like, oh no. But it seems to be working. Alrighty. So, oh, actually, I should go to what we were doing last time before I show what I've done since then. There we go. So last time we did a hand cam stream, for one, I didn't have my painted nails. Now I have my painted nails. The quality on the video is not that great, but you guys can still see what's going on, so I think that's what matters. I wonder if is there any way for me to fix that? Or that's just how it be? I think that might just be how it be. Until I get hi. Hello, hello, Kuduketa. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, my mom usually does my nails for me. Not that I like force her or anything. It's just our way of bonding. She kind of insists on doing them. Hey, Ranger. Hello, hello. Yeah, this is the bee bear that we did last time, or that I colored in last time for Peachtober, our first prompt, even though it was day like 6 or something. And now it's day 9, and I doodled some of the prompts, but I haven't colored all of them in yet. So that's what this stream is gonna be for. Get it? B? Just viewer count goes to 0. But yeah, so last time I did this bee bear for Peachtober. As you can see on the prompt, there's bee, cosmos, sweet, grub, sprig, stuff like that. So I'll show you what I doodled so far. And then today we're going to be just coloring some of them in instead of doodling. But last time we did bee bear. And then earlier today I did cosmos. I did this little astronaut bear. And then that's as far as I've colored. Now, as far as I've sketched out, I think for day number 3 or for prompt number 3, I did the prompt was sweet. And I decided to do me and my partner in bear form. With some candies. With some candies. And then let's see what else. Oh, the next one's kind of a fun one because I didn't know what to do for grub and sprig. That's not supposed to be spring, by the way. It's supposed to be sprig, like a sprig of parsley or a sprig of like rosemary. So I decided to do. Oh, wait, this is my sketchy page. It's Chef Bear. Chef Bear. He's holding a little grub. On the chopping board, we got some rosemary. He's just deciding how to cook it all together. So I don't know if we'll get to this one in terms of coloring, but we got Chef Bear. And then for the next one is eyes. You're gonna get cavities from how sweet these all look. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done like my little bear drawings. I used to do them all the time, and then when Tempest came about, I focused more on drawing like people, but now you could say I'm going back to my roots. Oh yeah, for this one, this is the theme for this is what I drew for eye for day number 6 or for theme number 6. And I think what I'm imagining is that I'll color in the eyes like really like colorfully or iridescently, as iridescent as they can get. Yeah, they're huge, right? I don't know how I feel about the hair though. It feels like he just has like a weird bowl cut thing going on. But well, we'll see. And then for let's see. Oh, I combined crater and dream into this one. Let me cover the back. He's sleeping. He's sleeping in a little moon. I was kind of I never actually read The Little Prince, that one storybook, but I've seen illustrations of it all the time, and um I have heard of it in a very am I saying this word right? Esoteric way. I saw it in a Hitalia fan work fan video. Someone referenced The Little Prince, and that's my only familiarity with it. He's hibernating. Yeah, he's hibernating on the moon inside a little crater, so don't disturb him. Oh yeah, it's Fat Bear Week, by the way. I think it's still Fat Bear Week, which I can go over what that is for those who don't know yet. I'm pretty sure Shinri talked about it, but in case y'all want to talk about it, we could talk about it. But this is the last one I did, and that is for themes 9 and 10, blue and citrus. What I'm imagining is that he's gonna be holding a little I was thinking like a blue orange, but my partner was like, "Oh, make it like a blue lemon. That's it's gonna be a little bit more like familiar." That's what he thinks of when he thinks of citrus. So, yeah, I think I'll change it into something like a blue lemon, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. That's what I've sketched out. So for today, we're gonna be just coloring in this one over here. Let's see how far we get. I might want to stop like 2 hours from now or an hour and a half because that's when my partner gets back from class. And I want to spend some time with them. Kind of goes in the theme of what we're coloring in today. But yeah. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and put on some music. The Little Prince I know. Oh yeah, Fate Grand Order. I wanted Voyager. I haven't played Fate Go in a minute. I think the last time I tried to roll for someone, I tried to roll for Mermaid. What's your name again? Kiara. Kiara Sasho, and she's I love her. I think I didn't get her. Oh, I think it was one of those ones where it was like, oh, you got a guaranteed 5-star, and the 5-star I got, I think, was one that I already got. And then I was like, man, why? Let me go ahead and put on some music. The music I'm going to put on is the same one I've been putting on for my other art streams, which is a Digimon World Lo-Fi remix. Something OST remix by Yoshi_UMR. But let me know if that's too loud or too soft. Oh, that was too loud for me, actually. Yeah, Kiara. I have like original Kiara. Like I have her as was it alter ego? Like her OG form. I overuse her a lot, even though, you know, on the tier list, she's not... I guess she's not nothing to brag about on the tier list, but I love her, and they say that you should just play your favorites in FGO, and she's one of my favorites. I think same with Carmilla. Carmilla and Kiara are, like, I want to say my main waifus. So I think for me over here, maybe this color. And then for my partner... Beans the bear, maybe this color. I was able to get both. I no longer share my rolls with friends because they started to get angry. I got some good rolls the last time I just spent a whole bunch of my apology saint what is it, apology saint gem saint. It's been that long that I legit forgot what they're called now. But the last time I just like binged rolled, I got like really good ones, like I'm very tempted to just check right now, but no, I'm actually using my phone to like for the hand cam. Who's the one that the actual design is Shiro, but it's obviously not Shiro. I'm like blanking because, you know, streamer debuff. You have Dolmon? Oh my gosh. You have Magni's big brother? That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, you know what? Maybe this for, like, the fur color, actually. For myself. Because I don't have a POSCA marker that matches exactly, you know, my fur color. But, let's see what we have to work with. Yeah, we'll work with that. But yeah, I have a few good ones. The last time I rolled... Oh, this one's kind of watery. Let me get my sample page. He was green and hot, and that's all it took for me. True that. True that. Yeah, so this is POSCA paint. This is POSCA markers. I can't say that I'm relatively new to it because I've been drawing with it for a while now, but it's been a minute. Like I said, I feel like Tempest was like a pause to what I usually do, and that's not a bad thing. Because my thing before Tempest was, you know, cute little bears, cute little critters, small creatures. And then because of Tempest, I was like, let's try our hand at human anatomy. And sometimes it was successful, and sometimes it wasn't. But this is kind of a return to form for me. To go back and draw these cute little bears, cute little creatures. But it has been a minute since I've last used like POSCA markers. Not counting the last time I did a hand cam stream. Little cuties. I can relate to not sharing roles. Friends hate you for not losing 50-50 in Star Rail. I feel like I didn't play Star Rail for that long, but my rolls were pretty decent. I did get Welt. The other OG son that I love so much. Yeah, this is a foot. And I feel like, yeah, I get good rolls in general, but it's not the rolls that I want, personally. Like I said, I didn't get Mermaid Kiara, but I got freaking Shiro Emiya. You're gonna have to remind me what his, like, actual, like, servant name was, because I got the streamer debuff. I'm just forgetting everything right now. But I got him. Who else did I get? Hi Mowo! Hello, hello! We're talking about Fate Grand Order, Wealth Supremacy, like just roles in games in general. I never played Genshin, or I didn't play Genshin long enough to roll. I think I like played it for maybe 30 minutes or something, and was like, wow, this is cool! And then I never played it again, which I feel like happens to me a lot. Like, I never drop something out of like hatred or dislike, it's just more of like, I just forget about it. Because I really like Genshin, and then I just never played it again. And then Star Rail, I played a little bit more. Oh, I feel like the camera was blurry for a bit. Oh well. Yeah, I played a little bit more of Star Rail, and then I think what came out? Baldur's Gate came out. Baldur's Gate came out, and I got obsessed with that, especially Astarion. If I can't have my vampire OG son, Vesper Noir, I'll have my vampire twink Astarion. Which I also haven't finished Baldur's Gate because now Cyberpunk is out. Or the new DLC for Cyberpunk. Wealth Supremacy, same, I got Wealth when I got Imbibitor Loon. Oh, okay. Played Genshin, do it a friend left, and then came back for the new guy. I mean, Astarion is a vampire twink, is he not? I restarted my playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 multiple times because I just like kept getting the hang of more things and just kept thinking like, oh, I want to change this aspect about myself. And the thing that I ended up changing the most was in my latest playthrough, I replayed it so that I could do Dark Urge. Because I saw a tweet that was saying like, oh, if you romance Astarion, it's almost more fitting for you to do Dark Urge. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be edgy. I love being edgy in my video games, in Minecraft, not in real life. I can't be edgy IRL. I'm just too much of a what's a good word? Too much of a blob. Even like I'll share this with you. When I was like a teenager, an edgy teenager that was all into emo music, I still am, by the way. It was very easy for me to be evil in video games. Super easy. I played this one game called Black and White, where you are essentially a god, and you can choose to be either a good god or an evil god, and 90% of the time I was an evil god. And I would just do all these heinous things, like I would kill my villagers and just be super evil and stuff. And then somewhere along the line, when I became an adult, I would play these games where you could be like, you could change your morals, you could be evil or good, and I just couldn't be evil anymore. I just felt bad. Like, stuff like Fallout and Skyrim, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I'm like, what happened to edgy Pow? What happened to edgy Babinka back in the day? Oh man, I wish I could get back to BG3. I know I will hyperfixate and college will destroy me. I feel that that's why I never played those two Legend of Zelda games. Well, Tears of the Kingdom is the new one, but the open world one. Streamer debuff, I can't remember anything. I can't play them because I know I'm gonna get obsessed. I know for a fact that it's gonna happen. Alright, so I got the purple fur. Breath of the Wild, yes. Yes. That's the one. Because I know I'm gonna enjoy it. That's the thing. I know for a fact that I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna enjoy it too much. I'm gonna enjoy it to the point where I get obsessed and I'm not able to do things properly, because that's exactly what happened with Assassin's Creed for me. I got into Assassin's Creed when I was getting into art history. Man, let me see if this is the color that I want. A couple years back, I changed my major a whole bunch of times because I just couldn't decide on what I wanted to study. I went from like graphic design to history to psychology, all that good stuff. I just couldn't decide on what I wanted to do, and then I took an art history class, and around the same time my friend convinced me to play Assassin's Creed 2. So I played it and I liked it a lot. And I think what was really cool is that as I was studying things in my art history class, I would see it in Assassin's Creed. Because I was learning about, I think the class I was taking was like Renaissance art. And when I was studying, you know, the Duomo, this big dome in Florence, Italy, I was studying that, and then I, like in Assassin's Creed, I would see it. I remember like the other example was, you know that statue of David? Not Michelangelo's David, not the white one, but it's like a bronze one where he's wearing a hat. I remember learning about that, and the same day I learned about it, I found it in Assassin's Creed 2. So, yeah. I can't be evil in games either. I cry if the characters— Yeah, for real. I think that's it. I think like if someone shows any kind of disapproval to me, I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, and then I'll like go back and restart and be like, look, no, I'm not mean anymore. I'm a good person. Please don't hate me. Ah, the paint came all out. This is sometimes what happens when you do POSCA markers. It comes out all at once. But I think this is the color I want. I just have to like— Okay, here's your ASMR if you can hear it. You gotta move around the ball in the POSCA marker. I was sadly forced into a major I didn't want to do. Oh, I feel that. I feel that a lot. There's definitely a lot of pressure to like go into certain ones, especially like depending on like who your peers or your family, or what your peers and your family say like is more successful to do. There's a lot of pressure for that. I completely understand. And it's not that I completely like got away scot-free without my parents questioning me, because my parents are like pretty open-minded, I want to say. It's funny, they used to be really strict when I was growing up. Like, I had no social life up until I turned 18. Because my parents were like, why do you need to go to a party? Why, huh? So my parents were super strict, and then when I turned 18, they just did like a complete 180, and they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. You can smoke weed, you can smoke cigarettes, do whatever you want, as long as you don't do crack. And that's fine. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so then when I told them about my major, that I wanted to do history and then art history, they weren't like, oh yeah, go ahead, but they were concerned. They were like, oh, what are you gonna do with that? And I told them like, oh, I could work for a museum, or I could be like a advisor for people that do movies and video games. And that's actually like, that was my first choice, was to like be an advisor to like you know, people that wanted to make historical video games. I wanted to be the person that was like, oh yeah, like that's not accurate at all. So yeah, that was my first choice. I went into something different. I went into education, but I ended up liking it. But yeah, my parents at first were like, what are you gonna do with that though? So yeah, the concern was there. I gotta catch up on chat. Yeah, no problem, Mo. If you're listening in the background, I appreciate it. TLDR, company that helps special kids, said illustration wouldn't make any money. Graphic design is the same, right? Yeah, oh my gosh, dude. it's so disheartening where it's like, well, this isn't gonna be like profitable. Like, why would you want to do something like that? And you can't just completely ignore the fact that we live in a capitalist world, but it's disheartening, definitely. I was implicitly forced to study medicine for a while. Rough year. Yeah. My partner's taking a biology class right now that's really rough. It's super rough. And he says that a lot of the people in that class are people that are studying to become doctors, essentially. And like, dang, it's enough of a struggle to just take that class by itself. I can't imagine what it's like for those folks that are studying bio plus like 10 other subjects. Or not 10, but you know what I mean? Like just a whole bunch of other subjects. Let's see if I could. Oh wait, that's not how my hair looks. Oh, whatever. It keeps getting blurry. It's okay, I can cover it up. My hair looks like this. Hehe. But it's okay. Pain Pickle. I actually thought of you because at some point I wanted to make a show or a movie that has flashbacks to past Filipino eras. Yo, if you ever do, hit me up. I can't say that I'm like 100% an expert in like Filipino history, but I at least know the like digestible version that, you know, they that is at least on Wikipedia and stuff, or that they let me teach when I was working for. I used to work for a Filipino school too, so I don't know all of the intricacies, but I did. If y'all are interested in what I used to research religious art. And it was specifically so I could study Filipino art. Filipino religious art. Because I didn't grow up religious, that's the thing. My parents were pretty lax on that too. I didn't grow up religious, but it's interesting to me. I think because I didn't grow up with it forced down my throat, I ended up like just being interested in it. Hehe, you like me cute bears? Listen, if I do it, it's just gonna be a bunch of dudes in white beaters and basketball shorts. Yeah, you might need to contact someone who, like, lived in the Philippines, because I only know, like, the historical stuff. Like, my parents are the ones that know, like, what was, like, growing up, and like, they haven't been in the Philippines since, like, the 80s, so things have definitely changed. Yeah, religious art is super pretty. I think one of my favorite topics is, like, medieval art, because it looks so derpy. It looks so derpy, and it makes people think that, like, man, they really didn't know how to do art back then, but they did. They did, it's just that they had a different aesthetic. It's almost like... I was in a class that was all about, like, Gothic art, medieval art, and they argued that like medieval art was like how modern art is. You know how like the stereotype with modern art is like, oh, it's so like it's so up its own ass and like it's so weird and I don't get it and stuff. And like for its time, medieval art was like that to people. It was like, oh, this is kind of weird. I don't like it. I don't like the, you know, it's just so tall and like. Didn't learn my lesson and end up studying in engineering and nanotechnology. Equally as hard, but at least I like. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Because, like, just reading the words engineering and nanotechnology seems really fancy. It seems really, you know, like, something out of, like, a sci-fi series. Like, nano machine son. That kind of thing. Lucifer art, marble statues are freaking goated. Yeah. And Gothic art, yes. My favorite is, cathedrals. I like, I took a class on, like, Gothic cathedrals. And it was one of the hardest classes I ever took in my life. I'm pretty sure, like, I was super close to failing it. Super hard. I got a C, which, like, in the university I was at, that was, like, the equivalent to, like, a D. Like, I was, like, on the way to fail it. But I barely passed. But that and my, history of photography class, they were the hardest ones, but they're the ones that I remember the most from. Because of the struggle. So, I love Gothic architecture a lot. It's just so pointy. It's so like, you know, when people think Gothic, they think like, you know, dark clothes and stuff. But Gothic architecture is all about light and height. That's what my professor taught me. Light and height. They have the rose windows, the stained glass. So when light passes through them, it's a religious experience. It's just beautiful. And this is coming from someone who's not religious. That's part of the premise, though. I want to do like a family coming over back in the 70s and 80s, and like my uncle fighting in World War II. Yo, have you ever checked out those cultural nights, Mega Bronson? The one in the university near us, or in our area. I can't say the exact area, but like I was in a couple of those shows, and that's part of it, is that there's like a script. There's a script portion alongside like these Filipino dances, and the script portion usually covers some kind of like generational trauma. Some like Filipino generational trauma. That's like I can make a bingo card of all the things you would see in those shows. Nano machine, son. Yeah, next time they're the one in our area, they usually do their shows in the spring. I'll invite you next time. I love watching them. But yeah, you can make a bingo card of like some of the topics they cover. It would be like you know, the eldest child has some kind of mental struggle, but the parents the parents are like, you're not depressed, you just need to pray more. Or like, you know, everyone looks up to the eldest, but like they're secretly depressed. Or, you know, the stories about the youngest or the middle child, and they hate that they're in the shadow of the eldest, something like that. Another thing for the bingo card, main character is LGBTQ IA plus, and like they're having trouble coming out, you know. What's another thing? There has to be a slap. There has to be family drama and a slap. That's part of the bingo card for sure. What else? Yeah, I feel like I just crossed over like a whole bunch of different topics in one. But yeah. Nano machine, son. What were we talking about before? Oh, Gothic art, Gothic architecture. So the architecture is super skilled. Like you could see it in like Notre Dame and stuff. But the artwork is where people that's where people fall off, because if you look at any picture of baby Jesus, he looks like an old man but small. And that's kind of what makes people think like, oh, people in like medieval times didn't know how to do art. They didn't know how to draw, or they didn't know about things like realism or proportions. And I would argue they totally did. It's just that that's not what they were going for. That's not the, like, if let's say you're a medieval artist and someone commissioned you and you went for like hyper realism, your commissioner would be like, what the fuck is that? That's terrible. That's not what I wanted at all. Because what they wanted back then was a clear message. They wanted it to be like, as soon as I see this, it doesn't matter what generation I'm from. It doesn't matter like if someone from 100 years ago is seeing this, like they will understand what the message is. And oftentimes it's supposed to be a religious message. There were no babies available for reference. There totally were, which I'll get to as well. But back then they wanted to show Jesus looking like a balding, you know, like old man, because it was supposed to be this kind of weird idea that you know, he almost like he was born fully formed, like he was a homunculus, like he was never an ignorant baby. He's God. He was born and he always knew, you know, his own destiny. He always knew like what he would become, and their way of showing that in art was to draw him as like essentially an old man but small. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's one of the things. Like they wanted it to be more symbolic than realistic. You actually see something very similar with like Egyptian or like ancient art, where like they wouldn't, you know, if they're drawing like a king and his servants, they would draw the king 10 feet tall and the servants would be like 5 inches tall. And it wasn't because they didn't know about proportion, it's because they wanted to show that the king was the most important guy. And that's one of the easiest ways. Okay, so what am I doing now? Let me draw my baby bear, my baby boo. Draw beans. Let's start with a lighter color first, like this color. And then I'll put in some of the darker colors. Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about art, is that like I think I'm a big fan of themes where there's a lot of not misunderstandings, but like there's a lot of stereotypes about how bad it is, and when I find out that it's actually not that bad, it suddenly becomes my favorite thing. Like, I wouldn't call myself a medievalist, but I am interested in a lot of medieval topics because of like, I saw something about how like there's the common stereotype almost that people in medieval times, like, it was all depressing because they had the Black Plague, and like people were all illiterate and stupid and dumb because they emphasized like religion more so than like logic, such as in the Renaissance. You know, in the Renaissance everyone was smart. Medieval times everyone was stupid, and it actually wasn't like that at all. Like, the more you learn about it, the more you learn about those times. Because for one, like, people weren't 100% illiterate. It's that statistic comes from the fact that they were illiterate in Latin. They're illiterate in Latin, like a language that, like, you know, they might have not used in their daily life. They might have been completely literate in like Nordic or Gaulish, or, you know, like the other languages of the people that like Rome conquered. But to like the officials, it's like, oh, you can't read or write in Latin? Okay, so you're illiterate then. It's like, no. I am literate, just not in the language that you're looking for. So that's where one of the statistics come from. The whole thing of like, oh, people in medieval times were all illiterate. It was from that. I just remember. Oh yeah, the Digimon Portuguese dub. I did listen to it. You know what? I do want to listen to it right now. Because I know I said last time, like, oh, I don't want to listen to it on stream because I might get DMCA'd and they're gonna, like, knock down the door to my apartment and they're gonna kill me. But, like, I was thinking back on it and I'm like, people listen to clips on YouTube all the time. I did listen to it and I laughed, but I want everyone else to listen to it. I'm not gonna put it on screen, but I'll let Shelly listen. Let me put the volume up a little bit. So this is Agumon digivolving into Greymon, but in Portuguese. And of course they use the Japanese music. Let me up the volume.
Agumon digivolve para
Digimon para. It's like he like gave up. He like gave up midway through. I don't want to say that because like I'm sure they tried really hard, but I'm sure they tried really hard. Or maybe it's one of those things where it's like one take. Like the scripting manager, the voice director is like, you get one take. And the voice actor is like, are you sure? Okay, did you Agumon Digimon? And in his head he's like, wow, that was terrible. But the directing manager is like, nah, that's the cut. We're using it. here's your $10 dues, get out. But like, yeah, to someone that is listening to that for the first time, it's like, damn, bro, did you just give up midway through? Let me put the music back. It's like Homer Simpson. And oh wait, let me put the music down a little bit. There you go. It's like Homer when he sees something delicious. It's like, ah, forbidden donut. Ah. Thank you for recommending that, Gudaketa. I remember listening to it after my last stream and just like losing my shit. Oh man. Which, like, I didn't know too much about, like, I guess, the struggles of dubbing, the struggles of voice acting until I watched more of, Sea-Dog VA, Connor. Not that Connor. The Connor that, like, is friends with Iron Mouse. I'm thinking of the robot actor in Futurama that only does one cut no matter what. Is it the gold one? I forgot his name. Streamer debuff. I just forget things, but the one with the unholy acting talent. Is it that one? Is it Calculon? Was his name Calculon? Because there was also a Simpsons episode where Krusty the Clown like came in to do like a voiceover, and he just did it like all right, bada bing, bada boom, like hey, it's Krusty. Hey, kids, it's talking Krusty. Hey. And then like he just left. He left the recording booth, and the people were still like putting the tape in for him to record into, and they're like, where'd he go? Hey, kids, it's talking Krusty. Hey. Yeah, I think it was in Futurama. It's Calculon. I want to say. All my circuits. Wait, actually, I need a reference for Beans the Bear. I know what Beans the Bear looks like, but I just need a refresher on like with a shade of brown that he is. Where's my beloved? Oh yeah, if you guys want to see what my partner Beans the Bear looks like, I'll put a cheeky little gif. Beans. Streaming. Cheeky little gif. Hey, where is it? Oh, there it is. This is my favorite bear in the world. This is Beans the Bear. It's my partner. Pet the beans. Gotta pet the beans. I haven't made a version for myself. I just made one to I just made one for him. But yeah, he's a Beans the Bear. Beans DA Bear at twitch.tv. Check him out if you're into Overwatch. Same with Mega Bronson. If you're into Overwatch, check him out too. Alright, now that I have a reference. He's definitely more brown. Let's do this. Do that. This music is so funky. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Dubs. I know I talk about Digimon a lot, but the Digimon dub, so silly. So silly, and like it's definitely up there with the Yu-Gi-Oh dub, where it's like when you're a young adult, it's like, wow, this was terrible. They censored so much. They took out so much of like the original meaning, and they put in like stupid jokes. And then when you get even older, it's like, wow, this slaps. I love this. But I realize my hand kind of cuts into... Where should I put beans? Maybe here? There you go. Yeah, check out Mega Bronson. He streams once every other full moon, but he does the streaming thing. He does the Overwatch thing. I don't know enough about Overwatch to say what any more details, but he sure does Overwatch. Sassy music sounding like it's from futuristic high society setting in a V. Yeah, it really does be like that when it's really just Digimon. I grew up on the dub for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I remember when I was how old was I? Maybe middle school or something? I like found out how much they censored. And back then I was like, oh, that's terrible. Like the dub sucks. They censor way too much. And then I tried watching the original Japanese version lately, like maybe this past year or so, and a part of me was like, it's just a normal anime. It's just a normal anime. Yeah, it has some like it has some edgy stuff in it, but it's just like every other anime now. Where's my Brooklyn Rage? Where's my hey Yug? I got all these monster cards. Kunai with chain. Baby dragon. You know, I feel like that adds a little bit more soul. But don't come at me if you're if you are a sub lover. I am also a sub lover, but it's just Yu-Gi-Oh. It's Yu-Gi-Oh and like Digimon, where I feel like there was so much charm with those derpy dubs. Especially when it's like Kunai Chain. Brooklyn funny guy. Um what was I gonna touch on? We were talking about the dub. Kunai Chain. I feel like the Digimon dub didn't censor as much as it like it really could have. Like I feel like it definitely could have censored more if they wanted to, and I'm kind of glad they didn't. Hey Pink Blanket, thanks for joining in. We're coloring some bears, talking about anime dubs. That's what I was gonna talk about, the Yu-Gi-Oh dub, where you know, in the original, if you got defeated, so in one of the arcs in Battle City, there are these villains, and they would fight the protagonists. They would duel them, and if they whoever loses, whoever loses dies. You know, one of them was like, "Oh yeah, we're chained down, and there's a chainsaw like heading towards your legs every time you lose life points. And if your life points go to 0, you get your legs chopped off. Very edgy, very bloody. I love it. All that good stuff." In the dub, it's changed to like, "Oh, it's a darkness blade. If the blade touches your leg, you get sent to the Shadow Realm." And yeah, that's kind of like the derpy kind of censorship. Isn't that arguably worse though? Like, isn't that arguably worse than like, oh, you die like a very horrific death? Yes, you get your legs cut off and you feel the pain. But if you go to the Shadow Realm, you suffer forever. Like that's never like you are essentially in hell already. I don't know. Is that not worse? Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? I don't know. Just my opinion. It's just like my opinion, man. Oh lord, we hate anime dubs. I'm definitely not a I'm not a purist when it comes to, not saying that you are at all, but like I feel like there are some dubs that are amazing. And then some that are just like I feel like it's definitely it also depends on when they were made, when the dub was made, because like dubs in like I want to say like the 2000s tend to be like derpier. 2010s it's a mixed bag, and then nowadays dubs are a little bit better. They have like better quality. That's just my take. But yeah, by default I usually watch anime subbed. By default. But if it's like an anime that's meant to take place like kind of in a Western setting, I typically find myself liking the dub a lot. I think Cowboy Bebop is a good example of that. Made me remember the jelly donuts on Pokemon. Yes. The stuff that was very obviously onigiri. No, my jelly donut! I keep thinking like my like the little voices I'm making, I keep thinking that they're like good until I listen to the VOD and I'm like, damn, that's what I sound like. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I freaking love it. I've only listened to the Japanese version, but Beans has watched a little bit of the dub, and he said like we should totally rewatch it dubbed. Cause I heard that like there's like little nuances. There's like little nuances like I heard that like David and his mom have slight accents. I'm not sure. Like, but apparently there's like little nuances that just kind of add to it. But Baccano, I've never actually watched Baccano. I've watched Durarara. I liked it. I've been wanting to watch Baccano, but I think Beans and I have such a big queue of anime to watch. I still want to watch Castlevania. The latest one. I've watched the first season. I loved it. I love Castlevania a lot. But we just have such a big queue. Oh, you barely watch anime? No problem, Pink Blanket. Yeah. No worries at all. Definitely entitled to, like, you know, your opinion is based off of your experiences. So if you've seen dubs that are terrible, then it's not up to me to be like, no. Because there definitely are really bad dubs out there. They definitely exist. But yeah, things like Cowboy Bebop that had a really good dub. Both versions are good, but the English voice is just perfect. It fits the ambiance so well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to think of other ones that I really liked, dub versus sub. I like the Digimon dub just for nostalgia. It's very silly. And I think I mentioned before, like, if they were like dubbed by 4Kids TV, the people that did One Piece at first and the people that did Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, I messed up over here. They definitely could have censored it like way more and it would have been terrible because there's a part in Digimon where the heroes think that they defeated like a villain, right? They think that they defeated him, but then they're noticing that like all the stuff that was associated with him, like he had this like evil fog and stuff, and the evil fog hasn't lifted. They realize that, you know, like, oh, he's not completely dead yet. So there's this whole episode called The Prophecy where like there's this prophecy that like the evil Digimon's gonna come back, and he's gonna come back specifically at a certain time, which is 6:06 with 6 seconds, aka 666, the number of the beast, as in like, you know, the literal biblical freaking number of the beast in the Book of Revelations. Which I feel like if it was 4Kids dubbing that, they would not have let that pass at all. Because I feel like they avoid any kind of like religious mentions at all. Yeah. So I'm like amazed that Digimon even like got away with that in the beginning. All the dubs I like are because I watched them as a kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same here. Same here. Like I said, Cowboy Bebop, really good dub. Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I really enjoyed the Sakuraketa. You like the Love Is War dub. JP is slightly better, but Ian is good. I never. I wouldn't call this a bad take because it's not even a take at all. But I couldn't get past the first episode of Love Is War. There was something about it that like it's not bad. It's not bad. It just wasn't for me. I'd be willing to give it another shot, but I think both me and Beans watched it and we were like, I get the You're talking about Kaguya-sama, right? Love is War is Kaguya-sama? If that's the one, I know that everyone like loves it. It's really good. Like I keep hearing it's like objectively good. But me and Beans, we kind of like got the shtick after a while where it's like, oh, it's like Death Note almost. Where it's like they're trying to like one up each other and like not be the one to ask each other out, essentially, which is such a cute it's a cute premise. But I think after watching just the first episode, it wasn't for us. But I'm also willing to bet that if we give it another try, maybe the later episodes will be like, oh yeah, I see what everyone's saying now, like this is top tier. Because like, you know, it's got to be top tier for so many people for a reason, right? That's not even me trying to be like a hipster or something. And I think in general, I'm just not super into romance anime. And like Love is War is like, you know, it is romance, but it does, you know, I get that it has that touch of like kind of comedy, little bit of like mindfuckery thriller. At least that's what I got from that first episode. Yeah, Kaguya, I get it that people don't like it. The relationship dynamic can be tiresome. I think that's what it is with me and like a lot of romance anime is that like granted, there's a lot of romance anime that they subvert expectations, you know? But I think me personally, I get tired of the whole like will they won't they thing. There are exceptions. There are two romance anime I really liked. Arakawa Under the Bridge, the one where it's a guy who like how do you even explain Arakawa Under the Bridge? It is a romance anime, but it's more so like a cute kind of like anime about just a funny community that happen to be homeless and they all live under a bridge and they all have these quirky characteristics. Like the mayor of this village under the bridge is a kappa, very obviously a guy in a kappa like costume, but like he plays his part very straight, you know? like yes, I am a kappa. And just everyone has these quirky like, you know, personality things. And then the main romance is between the main character, Riku, recruit, and this girl who claims to be from Venus. I think her name was Nino. And the whole thing sparks because I think she like inadvertently saves his life Like I think there were a bunch of kids that were like bullying him in the first episode, and like I think he falls off the bridge and she saves him. I think that's what happened. Feel free to correct me if I got that part wrong. And then their dynamic is just super cute, but I think I also got pulled in by just how wacky the plot was. I read the manga, and it's one of those instances where the anime is better than the manga. Yeah, it's very rare, but it happens. I've definitely seen series like that. I feel like arguably there are sometimes where like Demon Slayer, like the sheer like quality and animation of Demon Slayer, sometimes makes it better than the manga. But I also really love the manga. And then there are adaptations where like they just butcher it. They just completely drop the ball, and you're better off just reading the manga. Like one of my favorites is this one called Bokura no. Lots of content warnings on that one. A lot of content warnings on that one. Like child death, I guess, is gonna be the main one, but there's also a lot of SA in it, and like it's rough. It's rough, but it's also like one of my favorites. But I feel like the anime just didn't like hold up to what the manga did. Yeah. So that's just my opinion though. You see how I like to pedal back on things? I love Boku no. It's one of my favorite. The things that author makes is very good in general. Like, but there is some heavy topics. Super heavy topics. But when I was talking about romance anime, the other romance anime I liked was, but I never completed, was I think it's Ore no Monogatari. Like, is that what it's called? Ore no Monogatari. It's like a my love story. I think it just translates to my love story, and it's the one where it's this guy who like perceives himself as very ugly, and yeah, like if you look at his character design, it's like not your usual like it's not the features that many people would usually consider like attractive, because he has these big eyebrows, he's got big lips, he's a big guy. But it's about like this one time where he like I think defends a girl from like a train harasser, Chikan, and like she falls in love with him, but because like, you know, he sees himself as very ugly and he's not used to anyone ever like, you know, having a crush on him, he just like, they do kind of go through that like will they won't they phase of like, oh, she doesn't like me, she likes my best friend who's like so attractive and handsome, and he's like the prince of like the school and stuff. And then they subvert that whole like will they won't they very fast. I think she confesses like right away that like she likes him, and I found that super wholesome. I just love my fucked up anime manga. Oh my god. Oyasumi Pun Pun. Oh my god. Yeah. That's definitely one of my top like manga of all time. And yeah, like I said, I'm not usually one for romance, because like the stuff that I like is definitely kind of fucked up, and I know that makes me sound like a giga edgelord, but I think it's a carryover from when I was like a teenage edgelord. You know, I used to be that person that watched Elfen Lied and was like, yeah, I love blood and guts, and I love gore, and I love, you know, like all this fucked up shit. And then it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier with video games, that like I used to be able to like do evil things in video games, and now I'm like, oh no, don't hate me, I'm not a bad person. No, please, I'm not evil. Now it's kind of the same, where like there are certain things that I can't stomach anymore compared to when I was like a teenager or a young adult. But yeah, I used to be into like, not into, but I used to watch like I was pretty desensitized to Elfen Lied, I was desensitized to Higurashi, but Higurashi also has like just a really good story. Higurashi no Naku Koroni, or When the Cicadas Cry, and Umineko, they both are incredibly like violent, but they actually have really good stories and really good kind of like life lessons. If any of you have ever like read the visual novel for Umineko, man, that changed my life. like legitimately, I'm not exaggerating, it changed how I like see the world. For those who aren't familiar with Umineko, it's basically like kind of like a murder mystery. Um, where like the prompt is like this rich family, like they are stuck on an island during a family meeting, and like a whole bunch of terrible shit goes on, and like but it eventually goes into thing like, you know, this whole thing of like people get murdered, and it's like, oh, who did it? Is it one of the family members that we care about, or is it a witch using magic? And it gets into this whole thing of like, you either have to accept the truth that it was like one of your close loved ones that committed this heinous murder, or you have to start to believe in the supernatural and in magic to really kind of like, and it's almost like a coping mechanism of like, yeah, I believe in magic because I don't want to believe that my aunt would kill everyone or something to that effect. So, but it does get into deeper topics of like, you know, accepting death, how we like cope with certain things, and it legitimately like changed the way I see the world. So fully recommend Umineko if you're able to read it. It's a visual novel. It's also a manga. The manga is also really good, but don't watch the anime. Anime's terrible. Elfen Lied is so good. Sadly, the author had ooh. I didn't know that. I read some of the manga for Elfen Lied, and I know that it diverges from the anime a lot. But I don't know too much about the author himself. It's a little troubling. Okay, let's see what we're doing now. Let's put some highlights here. I'm gonna color in some of the candy too. Color in some candy. Man, some of these sound effects. They sounded like the pufferfish meme. The oh. But yeah, so like, let's see, aside from what other stuff do I like that's all fucked up? Higurashi, Umineko, Elfen Lied, Oyasumi Punpun is such a good one, because like, it is very like, it doesn't hold back. I think I'll put it that way. It does not hold back. And it's one of those anime that really shows kind of like a reality that is very harsh, but it is something that people like live through. You know, and like certain parts just hit hard. And it's sad, but like that's just kind of the reality of it. Boys Abyss! Me too! I've also been reading that one. Drama filled with some fucked up topics, but it's, yeah, I've been reading Boys Abyss, and then at the same time I was also reading it just ended recently. I have to look it up. Let me just go to my usual manga site. It's not Happiness. It's by the same guy that did Happiness. Blood on the Tracks. Blood on the Tracks. So, Blood on the Tracks and Boys Abyss are both these like drama-filled series that like they go over some like messed up topics, but like I said, it's I think what's like interesting to me personally is that like this is a lived reality for some folks. I'll just go ahead and say that like I've lived a very fortunate, privileged, and comfortable life. You know, like I'm not completely free of like trauma, but like I feel like most of my life has been pretty fortunate. So to read about certain things like in manga and just see like just realize that like damn, people live this shit. I think that's why I'm like kind of more into that than I'm more into like say romance. Like damn dog, you live like this? Yeah, Blood on the Tracks is really good. It just ended very recently. Like, let's see what this is. 9/9. So September, last month. It just ended. The author for it is really good. They've done his name's Oshimi Shuzo. He did I read one called Happiness. I think that one's interesting because like it's about a kid who becomes a vampire. We're seeing a theme here. He becomes a vampire, but I feel like it's very much like a metaphor for like stuff like puberty and just like growing up. But I think the one that I really got into by this author is Flowers of Evil. That one's fucked up. Like a lot of these. Oh man, this is so watery. A lot of these mangas go into like the dark underbelly of society, like that kind of like Joker-esque kind of stuff. But like I said, I don't know. I think it's because I've had such a fortunate life that it's very fascinating to me. And then there's some that like you just watch because they're a train wreck. And you just can't look away. What's that one romance one? You like how I said I don't read a lot of romance, and then I'll be like, you guys remember that one romance? It's fucked up. Um, what was it called? Scum's Wish. Let me see the Japanese title. Nope, nope. Scum's Wish. What is it in Japanese? Kuzuno Honkai. Kuzuno Honkai. Yeah. Scum's Wish. That one was very much like, dang, you want to see the dark underbelly of society? You read that. Not even society. It's just like it's just like growing up. I want to say. As I'm like drawing this cute little like scene of like me and my partner, me and my bear partner. This is how I feel about my partner. I love him. Meanwhile, I'm talking about like, yeah, Scum's Wish was freaking sick. All these like betrayals and cheating and just like. No, they actually go into like some pretty heavy topics in that one. Like, if you're sensitive to certain things that when it comes to like, I'm pretty sure like essay is one of them. But yeah, it gets heavy. Like, well, what else? Like Elfin Lead. Let me just go to my Annie list while I wait for the POSCA to dry. You know, I haven't finished Oshinoko. I love the first episode. I'm addicted to the song Idol. I haven't finished it yet. Beans, I think I'm waiting on Beans and I usually watch anime at the end of the night, but recently because of his class we haven't been able to recently. But I'm sure in between classes we'll be able to. Now I'm just on my Annie list account. Newt newt. Beastars. I think that one goes into some heavy topics. Okay, one that is like edgy. Edgy but like no, I think it still does go into like heavy topics, but that one is definitely so this one is definitely more of like a love letter to like 90s VHS sex and gore. Devilman Crybaby. Devilman Crybaby. That one, like, some of the imagery in that is, like, embedded in my head. I think that's when I was starting to realize, like, oh, I can't handle certain things anymore. There are certain things that I can't just be like, hey, I'm so evil and edgy. Now I'm getting to the point where it's like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. This is terrible. Yeah. Devilman Crybaby so good. And like I thought they like there was a part of me that was like, oh surely they like took creative liberties compared to like the original anime or the original manga. And I think nah, everything that is like explicit and like terrifying and like traumatizing is straight from the manga. Like, you also like Devilman Crybaby? Doberman. Devilman Crybaby? Yeah. The music is so good. I love it. Oh, you know what's a mix of the two things I've been talking about? Like romance plus like heavy topics? Fruits Basket. That was one of the ones that I like grew up like reading and watching. Fruits Basket is just so good. I think that and Digimon are like my favorites in terms of just oh wait, you know what? I need more of a purple color. In terms of like things like character development, storytelling. Now you know what? I need another layer of the brown. Or not the brown, this color. Great storytelling, great characters. Like, you feel empathy for like almost every character. And back when I was an edgy teenager, Akito was actually one of my favorite characters. I don't know why. I just remember like I don't know, I had like a soft spot for them. Yeah, I just remember like they did some horrible shit. Some unforgivable shit, but like for some reason like there was a she was one sorry, they were one of my favorites. But every character in that, like you really felt for them. My favorites were so I'm the year of the horse, so obviously I loved Isuzu a lot, Rin. But who else? Who else did I like? Okay, spoilers for Fruits Basket. Um if you if you intend on reading or watching it, um then mute me for the next like minute or so until like let's do 7:45 or the 45 mark wherever you're at. Um so spoilers starting now. The relationship between Shigure and Akito. When I was growing up, like that was one of my favorite like topics was that relationship, but now as an adult I'm like that was toxic as fuck. That was so incredibly toxic. But like I remember back then, I remember like reading the chapter where it was like first of all revealed that like Akito is a girl. And she was just raised as a boy for various reasons. And then like the whole reveal that like Shigure was like in love with her the entire time. When I was a teenager, there was something about that I was like, "Oh wow, like despite everything, like they really love each other." And then as an adult, I'm like, "Damn, what the hell is this?" These little kids talking about like I love you so much I want to crush you. I love you so much that I don't want like anyone else to look at you. You know what? I was a fan of the yandere archetype when I was a kid. Actually, even into like my early adulthood, I was a fan of like the yandere archetype, and that's another thing where like looking back, I'm just like I still like, you know, like have y'all heard of what is it? Gesugao? Gesu, like I think it's just like it's that facial expression when someone goes yandere where they go like insane. Like, I still love that. And whenever someone draws fan art of like Altair, or anyone from Tempest, like just like with that face, I'm just like insta like love that shit. um I'm still a big fan. But like I feel like nowadays though as an adult I can objectively be like, "Oh yeah, like IRL, that's not good." Like that's not a good relationship to ever have IRL. But I think that's the beauty of it too. Like, you know, it's the beauty of like um being into fictional material. Like is that it doesn't have to be real. I can recommend a manga called We Shall Begin Ethics. It's a heavy read but deals with a lot of heavy topics in a philosophical way, really educational. I'm gonna Google that right now so I don't forget. We Shall Begin Ethics. We shall begin ethics. From now we begin ethics. Okay. Hello, really bad KDR. Hello, hello. We're just drawing a couple of bears, couple of sweet bears, while talking about anime. I was the theme the theme thus far has been how like when I was an edgy teenager and even like a young adult, I was very into like very edgy stuff, gore, blood, fucked up stuff, fucked up topics, but now as an adult I'm looking back being like, man, what was wrong with me? Yeah, that's been the theme. That's been the running theme for this stream. Yeah, that rhymes. But I feel like because of that, now I can appreciate some wholesome stuff a little bit better. At least I want to believe. I want to believe. But yeah, the Gesugao expression, love it. There's an artist that does it really well. See if I can find it. I feel like if you just Google Gesugao, you'll find the artist. Scum face? That's what it translates to? That's funny. Do 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 do. Now y'all can find it yourself. Just Google Gesugao. Let me do another layer of the candy. The poopy sound. I'll be right back. I think I hear a knock at the door. I'm back. I was mistaken. There wasn't a knock at the door. It might have just been the music I was listening to. Oh, and I have the fan on, which is why if you saw the paper move like this way, the fan was moving it. Is it Ebby Blue? I believe so. I want to say yes. Ebby Blue. Yeah, it's this one, Ebby Blue. I think they literally specialize in Gesugao artwork. Yeah, man, we need some more like Yonter drawn like that. Or like, you know what? For the Tempest fans, I'm really sad that I didn't see more of that with literally anyone. like has anyone ever done like Vesper Gesugao or Magni? I feel like I've seen a handful of like I've definitely seen Flay. Like people make fan art of like Flayon with that face, and I think Haka. And I've seen at least one of Shinri, which was like, God, yes. But and I think Battle. I think like all of VG they have more of that kind of artwork. But I'm just like I want to see like I want to see HQ just look like they lost their shit, you know? In my deep dark fantasy. In my edgy fantasy. I think the more I talk, the more I'm realizing that like I didn't grow out of the edgy phase. Once an emo kid, always an emo kid. Am I right, fellas? As I draw my cute little bears, my bear sonas. Can't wait for Beans to come back home. Hehe, cute snout. I just remember that guy because of their drawings that were used with the Ricardo Milos meme. I don't know who that is. Let me look it up. I swear someone did a Vesper one once. Oh my god, yes! Ranger, you are cooking! Yes. I feel like, was it Zen? Did Zenith Xander, their artwork is amazing, by the way, but just like I feel like if anyone were to make that kind of artwork, it'd be Zen. I could be wrong though. Zen just pops up in chat like, what the fuck? Yeah, oh man. Vesper 2.0 with that expression? I melt. Ooh, what did I get tagged in? Oh, okay. I see, I see. Okay, I see, I see. So desu ne, so desu ne. Okie doke. Should I attempt to draw a Zen? I think. Yeah. Yes, if you can do, because like I feel like I tried to draw like some Tempest artwork recently, and like I think because I've been drawing so many cute bears, I've kind of I've been out of practice. It's very much like I said earlier, like I was out of practice with drawing my bears, and now I'm out of practice with drawing like people. Yes, Ranger, I think you should. Any Vesper artwork is good artwork. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing those little highlights. I was like unsure. I always hesitate when it comes to highlights, but it's like the Bob Ross. Like this is my my courage test. Been practicing orc shape, trying to get back to man. Right? I think that's been my struggle too. Like I want to make orc artwork, but sometimes I just also want to make Vesper artwork. But I'm indecisive. Nah, I think I overdid it with the highlights. I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I know that's not what my hair looks like, but fuck it, we ball. I used to draw really beefy guys a lot, then Tempest happened, now I go, yes, return to beef! Do it, Ranger. Do it! Don't let your dreams just be dreams. I try to find a darker color. I think black. I might just have to use black. For the little beans! For this part. You gotta have the beans. And let's add a little bit for the mouth. By the way, y'all, little random, but October is Filipino American History Month. Yeah. I just remember that because I posted about it in the Leaf tent, but this ice cream place that is nearby, they have Filipino American flavors or Filipino inspired flavors, and I was just thinking about it recently because I had the chocolate yesterday. I went there to get ice cream for my little brother's birthday. It was really good. I had it with the ube. Oh man, this topic of fucked up manga anime. Fire Punch. Oh, you mentioned something. You meant was it Fire Punch? Yeah, Kudaketa, you asked me if I read Fire Punch. It sounds very familiar. Let me Google. Let me Google. Oh my god, this is the song with the sussy noise. So I remember. I remember that this isn't what the context of that sussy noise was is not what you think. It's we talked about this before for those who heard it before, but it's a Digimon playlist, and it's a scene where one of the characters dies, and it's one of the other characters going like no, like yeah, but for some reason it just sounds very sussy. But back to Fire Punch. Oh, I've seen. Oh my god, is that where the meme is from? The face, the guy that just looks like. How do you describe this face? Like flabbergasted. Like I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. Like, that's where this is from. Okay. Uh-oh, sussy wussy. I don't have because it's so fucked up, but I wish. Oh, there's a risk of it never being animated because of how like intense it is. The face mean the full despair face. I mean, if Chainsaw Man got animated though, the best way to describe it is the famous that the one guy is famous for. I'm like I just googled it, so like is that just the best way to describe this series? Cause I'm down for it. Oh my god, what a face. Now you know what? I won't read any more right now so that I don't get spoiled. But I'm super down. It's older than Chainsaw Man. Oh, same guy for oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Then it's gotta be good. It's gotta be good then. Oh yeah, let's do yellow. Did I use this one? Yeah, it was this yellow. Sugoi. I watched so much Digimon, I know exactly where those sound bites are from. I think that was Joe and Yamato. In the English dub, he's Matt. And like, for those who grew up on the dub for Digimon, if you watch the sub version, the Japanese version, Yamato's voice is ridiculously deep for a 6th grader. What I meant. Oh, it's the anime version of Hide the Pain Herald. Oh my god, I see it. I see it. Oh no. I really love Chainsaw Man, but Fire Punch is on another level. It hits different. Okay. This is convincing me. I will read this. Especially like when it comes to I feel like I haven't been able to watch a lot of anime like just by my like I usually just watch anime with Beans. It's usually at the end of the night. I used to watch anime by myself, of course. But I haven't been able to because like either I have work or like I don't want to distract Beans while he's doing work or he's like playing Overwatch or stuff. So I just haven't watched a lot of anime by myself, even though there is anime that I want to watch like myself, like Ancient Magus Bride. I love Ancient Magus Bride, but I haven't watched the 2nd season. I'm not caught up. Magus Bride? Okay, so it's like let's hold off on talking about fucked up shit and let's talk about the wholesomeness and the magic that is Ancient Magus Bride. I kind of like how I was playing Assassin's Creed at the same time as I was learning about art history. I did have a phase where I got into like it's a good way to say this, paganism. Like, I was getting into like I guess like magic with a K and paganism. I'm not as much into it nowadays, but like I did kind of have that part of my life in my I want to say mid-20s. And there was just something very fascinating about watching Ancient Magus Bride at the same time because they would talk about like these like Celtic British like spirits and like folklore, that kind of stuff, and how it kind of manifested in the real world. And I think the animation really added to like that sense of magic and majesty. And like to this day I think that's why it's one of my favorites. Because they just did such a good job of it. And I guess like the whole idea that like it's not even just like the majesty and like loveliness and like wholesomeness of it. There's also like, you know, the dark parts of it. Ainsworth, both forms are just chef's kiss. Fully agree. Yeah, the opening, that like, you know, if you're in a certain mood when you listen to that opening, like it could bring a tear to your eye. It legit could. It's like I said, it definitely is one of those like you feel the majesty of everything. This is the opening theme to Digimon Tamers. Right? Wait. Yeah, it is. Digimon Tamers is also a banger for those that want to like rewatch Digimon. It's really good because this is the I gotta say it again. It's the edgy. It's the edgy season for Digimon. Oh, you know what? I should change the music text. Cause this is Sad Gatomon. Sad Gatomon at YouTube. Our current playlist is Sad Gatomon. Oh, Violet Garden is another. Violet Evergarden is another one. That one is definitely one of those like, you know, you feel the majesty of it. There was like, unfortunately, like when it comes to seasonal anime, I feel like I forget a lot of things very easily. Unfortunately, like the Violet Evergarden was one of them where there's like a lot that I've forgotten about it. But there was one scene that I remember like crying a lot, and I feel like it was a scene where was there like a lake? There was some kind of lake and she was crossing it, and like there was something about that scene that I just remember like tearing up and crying. Oh no, I don't know how to draw like candy wrappers that well. We do our best. Oh, let me just pause for a sec. Or mute, rather. Okay, I'm back. Beans just came back from his class, and he got a really good grade on his test, so I'm really proud of him. Um, Let me catch up on chat. I cried too in that scene. Yeah, you have to jog my memory on what happened in that scene. It's like they say, you don't always remember like what was it? You don't always remember like certain events, but you remember how you felt. You remember how they made you feel. And I remember how Violet Evergarden made me feel. I've been having ideas for streaming lately, including handcam art, but I just don't have the space for it. I barely have any space for it. But if you do, please, please, please let me know. I want to see your art. I want to see your art process. I'm always so curious about like other people's art processes. But yeah, B's got a good score on his test. I'm so proud of him. He studies so hard. He studies so hard. It's a I'm not gonna I'm always scared of like what information will like dox us, but I'll just say that it's one of the science classes that he took. And like it's just hard. And it's one of those classes where I might have even said the class earlier today in the stream, but because I'm pretty sure I mentioned that it was like a lot of people that go into like the medical profession that are doing this class. Okay, this came out less like a candy and more like an axolotl, but that's okay. It's wiener science, everyone. Mid to late November? Okay, cool. I'll be like, I'm pretty swamped with work lately. Like, when I say that, it's more of like, I'm definitely more comfortable working from home. But by November, I will be like, hopefully, once my team is entirely trained, I'll be like almost exclusively working from home. So I'll be able to catch like lots of different streams, because that's the one thing is when I'm working at school sites or at like certain sites, I can't catch like the folks who are like in Southeast Asia, like Taco and Mowo. I can't always catch their streams, or even Australia, like Mannerisms, Grace. I can't always catch their streams, even though I want to. Wish I could work from home. I work at a liquor store. It gets crazy. Oh man, I bet. Like, I bet it's also like, is it one of those jobs where you like also run into like interesting characters like every so often? But like, yeah, it definitely seems like the kind of job that could be very interesting, but also could be like pretty dangerous depending on how the day goes. Oh, you know what? Let me make the heart. And it is wiener science. Mega Bronson. It is wiener science. Even the professor is a wiener. You know what came up on my feed this morning when I was sometimes when I wake up, I'm too lazy to actually like get up. And I just scroll on my phone. I know I'm not alone in that. It was on Twitter. It was this old cartoon from the 2000s called Oswald. And he's an octopus. But I remember he has a dog. He has a wiener dog, but it's like literally, I think, a hot dog. Yeah, some amazing. Some will throw. Oh no, a liter of Henny, because they want. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry you gotta deal with that. Oh no. Do you have like do you have like a manager that you could like be like, hey, like this shit's going down? Or is it kind of the, would they just tell you like, oh yeah, that just comes with the territory type thing? Because like it's one of those things like in education, like kids being shitty is kind of like, yeah, that's part of the territory. That's like just a thing you kind of have to get used to, kids being shitty. But then sometimes like you get like amazing experiences with the students where like they'll just be amazing. Oh, don't worry, they got the guy. He's in jail. Oh, good job. Nice. He's 40. God dang. God dang. Still, I'm sorry that you have to go. You have to like deal with that though. It's like crazy how different like day-to-day things can be. I'd imagine, at least. I'm trying to think of what else. You know, I think I'm just gonna put some highlights. I'm gonna put some white highlights. And then maybe let's do some background stuff. I'm definitely one of those artists that is terrible with backgrounds. But fuck it, we ball? Dun, 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 dun. Well, when I say fuck it, we ball it, I mean I'm probably just gonna put like a solid color. And call it. Not call it. Well, we'll see how I feel. Hello, C-May. Good morning. Is that pineapple? Is that a pineapple on a pizza? Not even like pineapple chunks, it's just a whole pineapple. Very cheeky, very cheeky. I'm only staying until December for December money, and then I'm gonna try bank job hunting. Good luck! Good luck, good luck. Yeah, the struggle for like holiday money too. I should really start planning for the holidays. It's one of my favorite. I'm definitely like a Christmas kid. Like I love Halloween. I feel like I talked about this before, but like I love Halloween, but like I'm a Christmas kid at heart. And I realized when I was chatting with my mom that it's it's like specifically because of my mom. Because I kind of thought like this was the experience for everyone, but like when I was growing up, around the time that Christmas rolls around, she would always bring out the decorations. And she had a lot of decorations. Like she would deck it out with like the Christmas tree, with stockings, with like she even had like inflatable like bunnies dressed up as Santa Claus, and like I don't know, it's like it was a really nice vibe. And like it was something to look forward to every Christmas, and I assume that, you know, and I'm sure a lot of families do this, but I assume that it was the norm. And then like much later when I was an adult, my mom admitted that like she kind of did that on purpose. That's kind of like because like up until I was 8, I was an only child essentially. So she wanted me to at least grow up with like a sense of like Christmas spirit, and it worked. I love Christmas. Yeah, it's too funny. Yeah, the pineapple on the pizza. Yeah, that is funny. I'm aiming to finish all my merch paid off in December and try to save. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I really gotta save up on my money. I try to, I tally up how much I spend in, like, Menchie isn't so bad, because now I take that back. I was like, well, I'm not paying for Magni or Vesper's membership anymore, so it's, like, better. I'm just paying for Bettles, and I'm like, wait. I'm paying for Randons and Landons, So, yeah. When you were born on Christmas, then realize you have to buy gifts for others on you. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Yes. Like, I'm kind of selfish like that. Because I'm a December baby too. Like, I'm kind of selfish like that, where I'm like, I'm so excited for Christmas and the gifts that I'm gonna get that I forget that, oh wait, I'm supposed to be getting gifts for other people. I'm just a spoiled brat. It's like, wow, I wonder if I'm gonna get like new POSCA markers or new art supplies. And then it's like, oh wait, I gotta not be selfish and think about what other people would also want for the season. Yeah. High five to Sime's little sister, and high five to Ranger Genevieve. You just give one gift, Sime? Crime. Jail for 1,000 years. You give them 2 gifts, damn it. I'm just kidding, of course. I'm just kidding. I never really mind when people give me, like, combined gifts. Because my birthday's early December. So I feel like it's far enough that sometimes people give me, like, a gift for my birthday and then a gift for Christmas. But I also don't mind. Like, as much as I say that I'm a spoiled brat, like, I'm not so much of a spoiled brat that I'm like, oh, you gave me 1 gift? You gave me 1 gift instead of 2? Sushi, hello! Hello, hello. We're drawing some cute little bears. And we're talking about Christmas time. I'm a December baby, so we're talking about the whole, like, for December, for people that you know that are December babies, do you give them 2 gifts or 1? And I don't mind 1 gift. I don't mind at all. Thanks for the follow, Sushi! Thank you, thank you! Hee hee. Wait, let me catch up on chat. So I gave that 1 gift. Yeah. That reminds me I have to save money for the gift of my little bro. It's gonna be his first Christmas. So even if he doesn't remember, I want... Oh! Yes! That's how I feel too. Like, even if babies don't remember. You know, I don't know. It's like, there's a special... Even if it, like, if they're too young to remember, at least you remember it, you know? Like... And I think that is also, like, adding to the specialness of it. I can't words right now, but you know what I mean. I mean, she does a better job in towel. I usually get perfume cologne because they all like that. Thinking to give her perfume for Blaha. Oh, is that the shark? Blaha? Blahau? Blahaj? I have trouble sometimes thinking of, like, good gifts for other people. So I usually am that person that, like, tries to Google, like, what's a good gift for, like, a... You know, for my dad. It's like, what's a good gift for, like, a 50, 60-year-old Filipino male? Blahaj is always the answer, yes. Which, actually, I've been getting a lot of mileage off of my dad. Despite being a very machismo Filipino man, he went vegan a couple years ago. And he's also, like, the cook of the family. So I've been getting a lot of mileage out of getting him, like, vegan vegan stuff, like vegan like cookbooks or just like cooking tools and stuff. Um, this past year I gave him a people have been making like what's it called? You know, I should focus on the background. I gave him a cookbook that was like Filipino food but vegan. Like, and I don't know if he used it because he's also kind of stubborn. He's also kind of like, what do I need a cookbook for? I know how to cook. Maybe a good knife, yeah. Yeah. I feel like I didn't realize how much of a difference a good knife makes when it comes to cooking. Because like I said, we were talking about earlier how like I'm kind of a spoiled brat. I'm kind of a spoiled princess. Because my dad, he like cooks for the family, and every time I attempted to learn how to cook, it's like my mom with sewing. Like he would never just like let me learn. He would be like, "You're doing it wrong. I'm gonna do it." So like I grew up for like a sizable chunk of my life just not knowing how to cook until like college. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, but that is the truth of it. um but recently because of that, when I started to get more into like cooking and stuff, the difference that a good knife makes, oh my gosh. Like, the difference a good knife makes can like just completely change your day when it comes to cooking. Never too late. Yeah, very true. Very true. There's a lot of things, like I said, like both my parents are kind of like that, where it's like if you're not doing it right, they're just gonna do it for you. So it's not till college that I learned a lot of like really cool skills. And I feel the same. Never too late, you know? Same with art, actually. Like, I feel like I'm gonna say something right now and it'll be like, oh yeah, we could tell. But I actually didn't really like get too much into art until my late 20s. And I'm currently 32 right now. So it's only been 4 years since I've been doing art, seriously. I took art lessons when I was in community college. But that was because I was, my degree was in like, my degree back then was in graphic design. And then I quit and I did art history. My dad did that with a broken light upstairs. Now that one in the hallway downstairs don't work anymore. Oh no, not the stubbornness of dads. Not the like, what do I need a map for? What do I need to no, not a map. What do I need to ask directions for? I know my way around it. And that's just gonna lead to you being lost for like 20 more minutes. Same, I still don't know how to not burn things now. No, that's me. That's me. Whenever really by KDR, there's this streamer that some of us watch. His name is Bettle. And every time he gives like food takes, sometimes his chat will just be like, question mark, what is wrong with you? Like, I think he talked about how he used to microwave ramen, like cup noodles. Like he would just put the water in it and then just put it in the microwave. And like high key, that's how I grew up doing it. So when his chat was like going off on him, I was like, oh no. I did eventually see the light. In like middle school, I want to say. Very embarrassing to admit, but yeah, you're not supposed to do that. To be fair, you can definitely do that. I heard that though, like, well, it's because the ones in America here are styrofoam. And like styrofoam in the microwave is a no-no. Like, I don't think it burns right away, but like it has those plastics that like leach into it. Dads, what do I need a manual for? Yeah. Yeah, sushi. Yeah, it's the cup noodles here, or at least when I was growing up, they were styrofoam. It was only recently that I started having noodles that were like the cups actually don't, you know, burn. They don't burn in the microwave. I remember asking my mom too. I was like, why did you let me do that as a kid? Why did you let me just put the styrofoam cup in the microwave? And then like the thing is, she also grew up very spoiled. So she was like, I don't know. Because my mom is one of those people that grew up with a maid. So I think she definitely has that mindset of like, I don't know, the maid did it for me. She's spoiled. I'm used to the— oh yeah, the Korean ones are really good. BRB— yeah, no problem. No problem. Whenever y'all have to BRB, feel no pressure. I'm gonna keep on going on for a little bit more. I'm getting a little hungry and I have some leftover Mexican food in the fridge that I'm pretty excited for. It's called camarones a la diabla. A la or de la? I don't remember. It's very spicy. It's very spicy. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Actually, let me even this out a little bit more. But yeah, for those that came in a little later, the reason why I'm drawing these two little bears, for one, it's me and my partner Beans. But it's also for this October drawing challenge here, Peachtober. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay, but how spicy? It's pretty spicy. It's a fight room. Like, I'm gonna be in the fight room for a while. Kind of spicy. Because it's called like a la Diabla or a la Diablo. And it definitely feels like the devil is working his way through my innards. TMI. But it's just like, oh, the pain. But then when you eat it, it's like when you eat it, it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, I'm drawing day 3, sweet. And this is what I think of when I think of sweet. I think of my partner Beans. That's also who is being pet over here in the top left corner. But also some candy. While I wait for this to dry. Fight room mention. Yeah, I'm gonna be in there for a while after I eat that. But here's what we've colored so far. This is the one that I did. Oh, let me move this a little bit. This is for day 1, B. This is for day 2, Cosmos. This is for day 3, Sweet. And I've made sketches for the other ones, but oh, thank you, Sushi. Oh no, why is it stuck? Oh, okay. I think some of the color leached through. That's fine. That's fine. I could just color over it, but here's Chef Bear. He's deciding on what to do with this grub. And this is the one for eyes. I don't like how it is like right now as a sketch, but I'm sure it'll be fine after. This is for Crater and Dream. He's hibernating. Oh yeah, this this soundbite. Why? Why you gotta sound so sussy? And then there's one for Blue Citrus. Blue and Citrus. Probably gonna make a blue lemon. I mean, that's what I got so far. Now I'm just waiting for the background to dry. And maybe I'll add some little like fixins here, like a little bit of shadow. And then I might call it. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see, we'll see. Oh, I also need to stretch. Okay, yeah, let's continue with like adding some fixins. Adding some shading. Or you know what? I think I need another layer now that I think about it. Is this the one I used? Oh no, it's slightly darker. Smart to mix prompts here and there, very manageable. Yeah, I usually suck at not suck, but I struggle a little bit with doing art challenges that are daily. One of the few art challenges that I was able to do were the ones where it wasn't like a daily challenge. It was like a weekly, or I did one a couple years back where it was like every 3 days was a new prompt, and that one was way more manageable. So like my way of kind of like managing it is like with the daily ones is, yeah, exactly what you said, just like mix and matching some of them. Because I also got work. I can't. As much as I want to draw all day and watch everyone's streams. Oh, like yours, Sushi, I missed your stream. I want to catch it when I can. As much as I want to watch streams all day, I also have to like be at school sites occasionally, which is also fun. It's a nice change of pace from sometimes working in the office and sometimes working at home. You were just testing some settings and listening to some songs. Nice. Right now we're just listening to some lo-fi music from Digimon, but not just for Sushi, but for everyone in chat. What kind of music are y'all into? Because there's a lot of music I do want to play, but I feel like I would get DMCA'd, or like Twitch would be like, no, you can't be playing no My Chemical Romance over this this wholesome little bear drawing. As much as I wanna. I can't wait for like the Spotify, what is it? Spotify, the thing that they do at the end of the year where, oh, Spotify Wrapped. Because it's gonna show that I listened to Top of the World like 20 billion times. Because I always listen to it on my commute to the office. And then the next one will probably be Always Tied. You gotta go, Kudaketa, no worries. Sleep early so you can catch up on League Worlds. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Thank you for stopping by, Kudaketa. Recently into Yakui the Maid. People call... Ooh, Maid Core. That sounds pretty cool. If you keep VODs, there's a way to split it. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know that, like, I do keep VODs. I think... Because, yeah, I was listening to Big Ham recently, and, right before I went on stream. And I know that she listens to, like, she was listening to Copium on one of her streams, and then another one was, I think Shattered Wings by Haka. Oh my god, I wasn't looking for a short while. This is so good. Oh, you just tuned around, or like, yeah, you didn't look at the screen until now. Yeah, no worries. I'm glad you like it. YouTube music exposed me too much to grams. Oh my god, yeah, that too. Would recommend Goodnight World by Yakui. I'm gonna Google that right now. Yakui Goodnight World. Oh, yeah, as I was saying, so like I do save the VOD, and I believe that when you play certain songs, they at least like mute it. They don't completely just like nuke your VOD. This is gonna sound kind of sussy, but the name Yakui the Maid reminded me of do you guys remember, for those who like listen to Vocaloid, there was a it wasn't a Vocaloid, but it was like one of those synthetic, it was one of those like fan made ones. I don't even know if it was fan made, but do y'all remember there was like a Vocaloid-esque synthetic voice that just did like yabe, like moans and stuff? Cause she was a maid. Remember? I don't know. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was definitely one of those the maid's name came from the Tuche. Yeah, wait, was it an Utao? Utao, voice bank. I found it. If I say it, is it gonna nuke the VOD? Look up Iku Akume. That's all I'll say. Her name is Iku Akume. And that's all I'll say about that. All of the maids' name came from Nijiura to Chenmei. Oh, okay. But yeah, something about that name just reminded me of that. I'm looking at everything that I've Googled throughout the stream that y'all have either recommended or told me about, and so far I got Fire Punch. And I put some shadow here. I got Fire Punch, I got Yakui. And then I got the ethics one. Yep, that's the one. That's the one, Ranger. Yeah, Iku Akume. That's another thing that I've been wanting to listen to a little bit more, or just kind of relive the glory days of. I say that as if it's not the glory days anymore, but Vocaloid music. I was playing is it Project Diva? The rhythm game? It has so many like songs that I remember from like the 2000s that I thought I had forgotten, but lo and behold. Just been listening to Miku's Hero for the past month. Yeah, Project Diva. Yeah. What was the one that I was trying to get perfect on? The creepy sounding one. The one with the fox spirit. It's the streamer debuff. I feel like I forget so many things when I'm on stream. But like once I'm off stream, it's like, oh yeah, easy, that one song. Fine, Miku song. Fox mask. And when I googled it, I saw Matryoshka as one of the first ones. Rolling Girl. Oh no, not the Fox's Wedding. Not that one. Not that one. No. Rolling Girl, yeah. That and why am I forgetting everything? Because I'm on stream. Two-Faced Lovers, and then everything. Wawaka's work. There we go. You know what? I'm just gonna go to my playlist. I have a whole playlist of oh no, that's not what I meant to do. Unknown Mother Goose is another good one. There we go, Nostalgic Vocaloid. Let's see how far back this goes. Darkwood Circus, Alice Human Sacrifice, Love is War, Romeo and Cinderella, which is the one that I was thinking of. Oh my god, Strobe Light makes me cry. 2009 era, yeah. There we go, Double Lariat. When you said Rolling Girl, I was thinking of Double Lariat because I was like, oh yeah, the one that's named after the Zangief move. I'm like, wait, that's not that's not what I was thinking of. Double Lariat and Rolling Girl are two very different songs. Oh, Deco Nina's early work. So, Mosaic Roll? Mosaic Roll, and then what's the one before that? Mont Black, yeah, Mont Black. Oh, just be friends. I'm looking at this playlist and I'm just like reminiscing. Hachi, Donut Hole, Ten Faced. Oh, I had a Gumi phase. I definitely had like a full-on Gumi phase. And let me put back the music. I had a full-on Gumi phase, and also with Mothy. Have y'all ever listened to what is it, Master of the Heavenly Yard? I'm just looking over my work now, see where I can put some more like highlights and such. So I do feel like I'm running out of steam, but I do want to talk with y'all a little bit more. Maybe a darker color? What if? Oh, I like that. Mothy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's part of that. For those that joined in a little later, I was one of the big themes for this stream was I kind of still am into like edgy shit. the dark reaches of my twisted freaking that one Kanye West album. My deep dark fantasy or whatever the hell. But I remember Mothy being really good because at a certain time, like maybe this was just my my impression or my experience with it, but I didn't realize so many of those songs were related because it came out with the cannibalism one, Conchita, that one, and then Servant of Evil. Oh no, not Etchy. No. Talking about Mothy, Master of the Heavenly Yard, their work, because there was it's like songs based off like the Seven Sins, and they were all bangers. And it was to the point where like I listened to these songs, but I didn't realize they were all related. They were all part of like the same storyline, and I think Servant of Evil was definitely one of them. And I didn't realize that they even had like a whole ass light novel series, right? Clockwork Lullaby was a good one too. Okay, I actually like the shading where that's going. I'm probably gonna redraw the lines, but now I need a darker color for my fur. Otherwise, I'm gonna just have to go with black, but unless, what if? How does that look? Like we're each other's shading colors, or is that a little too confusing? No, I'll just do black. I'll just do black. Yeah, I'll just do black. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Did I hear shade on my beautiful dark twisted fantasy? I actually did like that album. Before Kanye went a little in an interesting direction, I definitely like College Dropout a lot. I like a lot of his earlier works, and they're still bangers. I feel the same way with some of I'll say Eminem's works. Eminem. Yo, my name is Eminem, and your girl wanted an Eminem, so I give her an Eminem. Oh my god! That was the kind of music I grew up with. Eminem, Kanye. I was listening to Linkin Park earlier. I kind of miss it, but I also have y'all seen how derpy the music videos are? Sorry, not all of them, but what's the one? One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Have you guys like seen the music video for that lately? Without your eyes clouded by nostalgia? No, that's not fair. For its time, it was amazing. We had this conversation last time, right, where we talked about like 3D graphics. For its time, Ocarina of Time, amazing 3D graphics, right? Reboot? You could say that, Sushi. You could say that it didn't age that well. But now it's kind of charming. I don't know, like things like Reboot are kind of charming. It was genuinely amazing at the time, and I try to make that argument with like certain things from like the 90s and the 2000s. I think one of the biggest ones for me personally is The Simpsons, because like now it's The Simpsons. Everyone knows it. But for its time, um, whenever like they showed like a family on TV, it was always like super wholesome and very like father knows best, patriarchy knows best, and like that kind of stuff. A sweet Christian household, and then for its time, The Simpsons was like the opposite of that. It was like it was showing that like the dad was kind of lazy and kind of dumb, but he had a good heart. He had a good heart, so I think that's kind of what added to that. Um, but for its time, it was like pretty radical. Me defending CGI from the 80s. Oh my gosh, yes though. Like one of my favorites is there was this one show called Beast Wars, and it was like in the same universe, I guess, or the same uh or it's like an offshoot of Transformers, but they transformed into animals. And so instead of like Optimus Prime, it was Optimus Primal, and he turned into a gorilla. Wait, right? Was it a gorilla? It was a gorilla, and then Megatron turned into a Money for Nothing CGI. Wait, Money for Nothing CGI is still my inspiration. Man, y'all are making me want to look at like some of the old CGI. There's some that like have aged badly and it's derpy, but it's charmingly derpy. You remember that, Ranger? Beast Wars. We're looking at Beast Wars now. Oh my gosh. They're so smooth. Look at Beast Wars. They're so smooth. I love it. Reboot was another one, but Reboot scared me as a kid. The villainess, like the main villainess, she was too scary for me. Trying to think of what else to add to this. I feel like we can kind of call this one like not done. There's still a lot of imperfections that I. You know what? I'm just gonna go over and line some of it. Oh no, that's too big. Too big. They did have like the hand-drawn frame-by-frame animations in the clip as well from their live concert that still holds up. Oh, money. Okay, sorry. Let me look that up. That's what you meant. I was like, what do you mean by Money for Nothing? And then I just like actually looked it up. I love that. There's something. It reminds me of like old computer games, like Kid Pix, or there was this one game that I had as a kid that was like, it wasn't Windows Movie Maker. It was something Movie Maker. Movie Maker game 90s. 3D Movie Maker in 1995. Check that out because like, oh, that's like peak 90s and 80s like CGI. It's like complete with kind of janky walking animations, but it's just very charming. Oh, which Movie Maker? It was called 3D Movie Maker. It's a game from 1995. 3D Movie Maker. Got struck by nostalgia and decided to look up Disney Magic Artist. That also sounds familiar. Magic Artist, okay. You know what? I think it's in the same vein. It's in the same vein as that. Joel Vinesauce used back then, is it? I'm afraid I don't know. I could look it up right now. Let me finish drawing the little fingies on here. Actually, what time is it? K hora S. For me, it is 8:41 p.m. I think I'll call it soonish. Once I finish with the lines on here. With POSCA markers, it's very, like, trust the process, because, like, there are a lot of times, like, in the middle of it where I'm like, dang, this looks like ass. But now I'm liking it. You don't remember when Vesper was talking about, like, he likes art? Or he likes when art makes you feel things? I think that's what I want to go for. For this one in particular, I want it to be kind of tender. "3D Movie Maker looks terrifying, I love it." Yeah, it kind of was. 3D Movie Maker was definitely an experience. Makes you feel all gooey inside. I'm looking at my screen and I'm realizing there's a lot of imperfections. Like, I don't quite like how the arm looks, but in the end, I at least want it to be, like, cuddly-wuddly, lovey-dovey. Lovey-dovey-dovey, I have this playlist that I just call my 2 K-pop phases. Because it's literally that. It's like the 2 times I had like a K-pop phase, and it was wait, who sang Lovey Dovey? I just sang it, and I don't even remember who like actually sang it. Lovey Dovey Dovey. Is it 21? Hey yo, we 21. Tiara. It was Tiara. Okay. This art makes me want to hug these 2 little guys, so cute and fluffy. Oh, thank you, Pink Blanket. That's just like the nature of artists sometimes, is to find faults within their own art and be like, oh, I don't like how it looks like this. I don't like how the arm looks like that. For me, like, I do, like, there are some parts where I'm like, oh, I could have done, like, the arm a little better, but in the end, like, it's something that I know that I'll probably look back on and be like, oh, I like that. That's how I feel about, back in, like, 2020, during the Panera Bread, the pandemic. I did a lot of Animal Crossing art, and I think at the time I saw it as like it wasn't the best quality. I specifically did an art piece where one of my favorite villagers was Cat. She's a cat, like, but her name is spelled like Katt. I did one because she likes singing on my island. She would always be like singing, and I did an art piece where it's just her humming, but then it like evolved into her like having her own concert. And I drew like a little art piece for that, and I really liked how it turned out. But back in the day, I was like, oh, there's so many imperfections. Like I don't know how to do like perspective properly. You know, I don't like how her paws look, that kind of stuff. And then I looked at that artwork recently, and I was like, damn, this is kind of good. This is kind of cracked. Why can't I do that like right now? Which I'm sure I've grown in other ways, but it's definitely one of those art struggles where like you might look back at something and cringe, or you might look back at something and be like, why can't I do that anymore? Like the Homer Simpson "Le Grill." What the hell is that? Yeah, Tiara. That was the Cat the Cat. Yeah, it's Cat the Cat. My portfolio? Yeah, I'll show you guys. It's not my portfolio, but it's a good chunk of my artwork since I want to say 2020. I even post. Oh yeah, I forgot. I put my Tempest stuff in there. It's my Instagram. I'll put it in the chat if you guys want to see. Oh, I'll be back. I hear my cat. Yerby. My cat wanted in. You might hear him with the oh, yep, there he is. Special guest appearance by my cat Schnackery. He's a very needy guy, but I love him. But yeah, that Instagram like goes back all the way to 2020, I want to say, and it has a mix of art. So you see a lot of like bear stuff, and then before that, I did a lot of like Filipino cultural like inspired stuff. Oh, and Digimon. I'm like scrolling through it right now because I don't remember. um, there was a point where I did like bears, but they were based off of Filipino snacks. Oh, thank you, Sushi. That means a lot. It's like coming from a fellow artist. Like I'll see like folks like you and like I think Zen also complimented me and like Ranger and like it's like dang, fellow artist complimenting me is such a such a concept. It means a lot. But yeah. I was just looking through it myself, that's why I paused for a second. Thank you. The Filipino bear snacks are adorable. Aw. Thank you, thank you. I might want to revive that one day. The original intent with that was to make stickers, but I never did. So I was too much of a coward, but no, it wasn't even just that. It was I have a friend. You should check her out. Her name is Kibbo, or her like artist name is Kibbo. She was telling me about kind of like the struggles of like selling stickers. Like you legit need like experience with with like managing a company essentially in order to like at least like sell stickers in a way that it doesn't completely burn you out. Buko Panda, yeah. That's one of my favorites. I think I named that set like Buko and Friends. Yeah, there's like a good amount of like full-on Digimon artwork. Some of these are the ones that I said that are like, dang, I can't. Why can't I not do that anymore? Meanwhile, other ones I'm like, okay, I feel like I've gotten better since then. I know, baby. You guys hear my cat? Meow. Yeah, Buko Panda is one of my favorites. And coffee jelly. So like, coffee jelly is one of my favorite desserts. Period. But in terms of the dessert bears that I made, I think leche flan and sapin are my favorite. Oh, and the taho. I'm probably not saying that right. Taho? My parents make fun of my pronunciation all the time, but it's something that you get used to. Yeah, you like the Digimon ones, the Biomon and Tentomon ones? I'm glad. Garlic Bear is my new best friend. Aww. I said, I'm glad. I'm glad y'all like it. It is fun to look back. It's fun to look back on that kind of stuff. And see either how far you've come or like, what, can't you do that anymore, huh? I think I'm seeing the AC ones you mentioned. I legit thought, oh, thank you. Yeah, there's one where it's Cat the Cat. There's one where she's just like humming to herself, and then there's another one where she's like doing a full-on concert. Oh yeah, and I got into like pixel art. There was a point where I got into like pixel art. I'm looking at the Hank the Tank. Oh yeah! I love Hank the Tank. He terrorized multiple people in like Tahoe. And it turned out to be 5 different bears. Okay, so I think I'm good on this art piece. I might call it soon because I am getting kind of hungry. But I am very satisfied. Like I said with POSCA, it feels very like trust the process because like midway through I'm like, damn, what the hell am I doing? But it turned out kind of nice. But yeah, you know what? I'm like looking at my screen right now and I'm just like, oh, what did I do with this candy? It's so flattened. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna look back on this and I'll be like, I like it. 5 different bears. You can look back at work and be like, how the hell did I do this? Yeah, it's the struggle. It's the struggle. But It's actually like the same thing with like streaming. I feel like there are gonna be certain VODs that I'm gonna look back on and be like, dang, that was terrible. But then, you know, even more time will pass and I'll be like, oh, I feel like I didn't do as bad as I thought I did. So this whole streaming arc that a lot of us have been doing has been really like fulfilling to both like observe and go through. So yeah, I think I'll leave y'all with that. 5 different bears, Power Rangers bear fuse. That's such a good idea, Ranger. I think that's what I'm gonna explore. Yeah, Sushi, it's been fun to watch everyone stream. One of my favorites is just like seeing how like different everyone's takes on it are. Like there are people who like, you know, they're just really good at like, for example, Zatsu's just talking with the chat and stuff. And then there's people that are like really good gamers, and then I don't know, there's just different ways to go about it, and it's really inspiring. But yeah, with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Once again, here's our sweets bear. This is something I did earlier, and then this is the one from last stream. I think the next time I do a hand cam stream, I'll color these guys. Maybe grub bear, maybe eyes, I don't know, and then maybe this one. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know when I'll be streaming next. I tried to make Wednesday streams work, but I'm just too tired after Wednesdays are when I go to the office. And when I get home, I'm just dead tired. so so I might replace Wednesday streams with maybe Thursday. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and go on my ending screen. Hehe. Oh yeah, I forgot. This used to be a still image. Now it's just me. Oh, you know what? One quick thing. One quick thing. Let me go back to the drawing one. Oh wait, no, you don't get to see the stickers. Not yet. One quick thing. No, you know what? Zatsu. I added something. I added something to my model. I didn't really. I don't know what I'm gonna use it, but I added emotions. So this is my default. This is my default. Angie. I'm Angie. Randon just said something out of pocket and I hate it. And then sad. Sedge. Sedge, I missed the the VOD is VOD is dead. Because Randon said something out of pocket. So sad. But yeah, I forgot. I forgot that I like made those. I was gonna like show it off today, and I was like, oh wait, it's the end of the stream already. But yeah, should I end on sad? Nah, I'm gonna end on Angie. No, I'll end on my default emote. He said something about piss. Yeah, me when he talks about piss. Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Y'all have been great. I'll let y'all know on my Twitter when I stream again. It might be Thursday. But yeah. You pieces. God. I hate it. Never end on sad. Yeah. Thank you everyone. Have a good rest of your day or your afternoon or your evening. And as always, I'll see you when I see you. Oh wait, I need to see who I can raid into. Who's streaming right now? Who can I raid into? Let me see. I will rest. Thank you. No one's streaming? Oh no. Should I just end it then? Okay. I don't think anyone is streaming, so goodbye everyone. I'll see you when I see you. And thank you.